All right. So first of all, man, I wanted to thank you for your time today. I know we've been planning on doing this for a while. Tell me a little bit about what you've been doing so far to get ready for the NBA draft. Obviously, strange circumstances, but I'm curious, how you've been keeping busy and everything.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you having me on. It's definitely a unique time. It's very different than anything we've seen before. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to stay prepared. I'm lucky enough to be one of the people that has a gym that I can get into. So I get in there usually in the mornings and do some shooting drills, stuff like that. Get a ton of shots up. I got some weights in my house, so I'll come back in the afternoon, eat, hit the weights, and then head back to the gym at night and shoot again. So I'm done with school and I'm just trying to stay really focused and do everything I can to work on my body and work on my game every day.
And you were able to get your degree, going back for your final season. How important was that for you, and how much do you think that kind of helped shape you into who you are now?
Yeah, I was able to get my degree, and it's an amazing feeling. It's something that's very important to me and very important to my family. And going back to school, it was something that I was really excited about being able to do. So I'm very happy about that, especially from such a great school like BYU.
And tell me a little bit about what drew you to BYU in the beginning. I'm curious, what your experience was like, playing there for 4 years.
Yeah, it's the greatest university in the world, in my opinion. And I didn't always know that. Growing up, I wasn't a member of the church, and I never really thought I would go to BYU. It was the people there that really drew me in. I remember being a senior in high school and sitting down with Coach Rose and kind of having a conversation about where I would be, and I'll never forget the conversation we had. We were sitting there, and I was kind of asking him, where do you see my role being as a freshman? What do you see me playing? What's your vision for me? And I'll never forget, he told me, I'm not going to promise you anything other than a fair chance, because if I'm promising you something, I'm promising 13 other guys something, and I'm not going to do that. And then he told me, I think you're someone that will make the most out of a fair chance. So I love that integrity. I love that honesty. And those are the type of people you find at BYU, hardworking people that just put their head down and grind and try to get better and love each other. It's a family, and the whole community is a family. So my experience here has been incredible. BYU, I say it all the time, but they turned me from a boy to a man, and now I'm ready for this next step because of them.
And you guys had a top 10 offense in college basketball this season. You guys were just a delight to watch play. What do you think your role was in that offense and helping become such a dynamic, winning program, and especially as a senior?
Yeah, I think my role was to space the floor, to be someone that we could throw the ball into the post and make a defense make decisions. I think we just had so many different options offensively and so many different guys that were willing to make plays, could score at all three levels. We're one of those few offenses at the college level that almost at all times had five guys on the floor that could shoot, dribble, and pass. So I think just our versatility on the offensive end helped us out a ton, and I'm just glad that I was able to contribute to that. It was such a fun year and such a special group of guys.
And your team also finished with the number one 3-point percentage in all of college basketball, which was just amazing. And I think a lot of people were really surprised by your 3-point percentage. Tell me about your jump shot and kind of where it's at right now, because it improved so much during your 4 years, just going from where you were as a freshman to where you were shooting nearly 50% as a senior.
Yeah, I feel very confident in my three-point shooting ability, and I'll give a lot of credit to Coach Pope and the staff here. My first 3 years, I think I was able to get a little better shooting the ball just because I would rep it out and rep it out and rep it out. That was the way that I knew how to get better at the game of basketball. I would take something that was a weakness and just rep it out until I was good at it. And I think I was able to progress that way. But going into my senior year, the staff taught me the concept of deliberate practice. They taught me not just to go out and shoot a bunch of shots, but to be very deliberate about the things that you're working on. And we really prioritize three things. The first thing being getting the ball to come off the right fingers. My ball would come off my pinky and my ring finger a lot, and we really worked on being mindful of it coming off the pointer finger and the middle finger. So that mindful practice helped. The second thing that we did was being consistent in the shot. So if you look back at my film, most of my three-point attempts, I stepped in my shot left, right, and that consistency, I think, was able to help a lot. And then the third thing being, owning my finish. I used to kind of like pull out of my shot and do stuff like that. And We really talk about at BYU having a strong finish, and I think the combination of those three things was able to really elevate my three-point shooting to the next level.
And I also really loved how great you were in the pick and pop. How much did you work in the pick and roll, especially as a senior, to get to be the efficient finisher you were today as a pick and pop finisher?
Yeah, a ton. Coach Pope is unbelievable at teaching the pick and roll and teaching the straight line drives, teaching concepts of catching first. And he's done it all throughout his career at UVU. He had amazing guys in the pick and roll and the pick and pop. And that was something that we definitely worked on a ton in the offseason and all throughout the season.
Where do you see your offensive role being at the next level?
Yeah, I think that, I can be someone that comes in and is a high energy guy, someone that is a high character, high energy, high IQ guy. I'm going to come in and carve out a role for myself as someone that crashes the offensive glass, plays hard, communicates on every possession, and shows up to practice every day and competes like it's the NBA Finals. I think every team needs guys like that, and I know that with some of the natural gifts I have, being able to finish with touch in different ways around the rim, I think I can also be someone that can stretch the floor and create space for a lot of these high-level drivers. So I would love to come in and create a role that way and then continue to expand my game every year.
And then when it comes down to just taking that transition to the next level, what are some ways that you think that you can kind of contribute immediately to really being the player that you are, kind of in the long term as well?
Yeah, I think I can immediately contribute just with my energy, my ability to rebound the basketball. They always say rebounding translates, and I think that's something that every team needs a little bit more of, is guys that rebound at a high level. So I want to come in and be able to do that. I think another thing that I can do really well is space the floor. So most NBA teams are transitioning to that 5-out style of play and having at least 4 shooters out there on the court. So I think I can stretch the floor, rebound the basketball, and play hard and make effort and high energy plays.
And I completely agree. I mean, your defensive rebounding percentage was like top 10 in the nation. That's something that I think is really going to be a huge part of your identity moving forward as well. Where does that instinct come from? Where did you get that defensive rebounding mentality to kind of help become such an elite level in that way?
Yeah, I've always loved rebounding as a kid. I would go to YouTube and look up all these NBA greats. And as a young kid, I found Dennis Rodman, and I loved watching him. I would watch his highlights almost every single day as a kid, and I loved the way that he fought for positioning and the effort that he played with and competed with. And I realized, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. It doesn't matter how tall you are. If you compete and you understand the angles of where a basketball comes off a rim, you can be an elite rebounder. So I think it really is all about effort, and I love that.
What are some things that you've picked up watching the documentary, the Last Dance documentary so far? Obviously, Dennis is highly featured in that, but I'm curious what takeaways you've had from it.
I just love the intensity that these guys have. Watching Michael Jordan, the way he came to compete every single day, I think is the biggest takeaway for me. You can't have all the success, you can't have the great things and the end goals without falling in love with the process and falling in love with the journey. And that's what I'm trying to do right now is I'm really embracing the day-to-day work and really falling in love with getting better every single day. And, that's what he did, and that's what those teams are able to do. And I think everybody watching that, we can take that part of what they were able to accomplish.
Who are some of the players that you like to watch when you're watching film on NBA guys now? Who are some guys that come to mind when it comes to, whether it's comparisons or just guys you want to learn more from?
Yeah, my number one guy has always been Paul Millsap. I love his game. I think we're similar size, similar build, and I love the way he was able to come into the NBA and create that role, create that niche where he was a hustle guy. He was a cutter. He rebounded the ball well. He played hard, and every single year he was able to expand his game, to shoot the ball better. He improved his handle. He improved his lateral quickness. And I think that he's a guy whose route I can follow. The other 2 guys I love are Draymond Green and Kenneth Faried when he was in Denver. I think a lot of times we talk about Draymond Green for his defensive versatility, and I love that. But I also love his playmaking abilities in the open court. I think he's very good in transition of knowing when to give the ball up, when to push it all the way to the rim, and when to just stop and hand it off to a guard. I love his decision-making there. And then just the ferocity that Kenneth Reed played with. So 3 undersized guys, similar size, similar builds, and there's just different things that I love to pick from all their games.
How would you describe yourself as a distributor and as somebody who can kind of play make out of the big position? Because I think that's something that you kind of get underrated for sometimes. But I mean, your assist percentage was still almost 20%, which is among the best among guys 6'8" or taller for sure.
Yeah, I love playing basketball the right way. I think it's really as simple as that. I've always had a feel for playing ball the right way and finding open guys, passing up good shots for great shots. I think that's what made our team special, and I think that's something that I can bring to the next level is being a guy that's going to make the right decisions. So I think it's really important, like I said before, to have guys that can shoot, dribble, and pass. And I think, that passing part is underrated a lot of times, and it's very important for any elite offense.
And what about as a defender? What do you see your role being defensively? Obviously, 6'8". I think you'll probably play more at the 4, but I think you could probably play at the 3 and the 5 as well. Who do you see yourself guarding at the next level?
Yeah, right now I see myself as kind of that 4 and the small ball 5. I think I'm a lot more laterally quick than I've been able to show. I'm really excited for the opportunity to not have to worry about foul trouble and just be able to get my all there on that end of the floor. So I think that right now I'm in that 4 or 5 spot, but I love to work and I love to get better. And I'm just going to continue to expand my game, continue to get quicker, more athletic, and eventually be someone that can switch anywhere on the court.
And realistically, we're probably not going to have an NBA combine. If we did, though, what are some exercises you think you would really thrive in? Obviously, you mentioned lateral quickness, so lane agility. I'm curious about, I don't know, your vertical, your wingspan offhand, or your standing reach, but in general, where you think you would kind of come away most impressive.
Yeah, we did some tests with our team using BAM athletics, and I guess that they do a lot of stuff with the combine. So I think if you compared the numbers that I tested to last year's combine, I would have been top 3 in every category for forwards. So I think I'm a lot more athletic than I get credit for. I have about a 37-inch vertical, 7-foot wingspan, 8'10" standing reach. I think I can't remember exactly what my lane agility was, but I think it would have been number 2 for forwards last year. So I think I'm more athletic than I get credit for.
I am less athletic than I get credit for, so in that sense, that's definitely something that you'll have in your advantage moving forward, though, when people do eventually see that from you. I also think that seniors are going to have a bit of an advantage in this draft process than previous years because you have more of a body of work to pull from. What do you think that teams are going to see from you when they watch film over you for the last 4 years? What do you think they're going to come away most impressed by?
I think the biggest thing is just that I'm someone that gets better. I think all 4 years at BYU, I got better, and I really take pride in my work ethic and my ability to get better every single day. I always think that I think kind of in the long scheme of things, and I feel that if I can just get a little bit better every single day, then where I want to be will be accomplished. So I think they'll see that I get better every single year. I think they'll see that I rebound the ball, that I'm a great teammate. I communicate with my guys all the time, and I think they'll see my progress in being able to stretch the floor, my transition defense, and my ball screen defense.
You played mostly on ball. How do you think you would do in off-ball situations, especially at the beginning of your professional career?
Yeah, I think it would be an amazing opportunity. I feel like the last couple of years especially, I've been the focal point of the offense. Defenses are really tuned in on me, and I think that I can be even more efficient as a player when I'm kind of playing in a different role where I'm stretching the floor, getting dump offs, cutting hard, in all those different areas. I think that I can take the things I'm good at, my touch, my ability to finish on the basket and stretch the floor, and become an even more efficient player.
I know that you guarded the jump shot really well. I think maybe a lot better than people would have realized. I think, the numbers that I'm looking at say that people shot 24% off the catch and 22% off the dribble when you were guarding them. Tell me a little bit about the ways that you've kind of prioritized guarding the jumper and some things that you've done to become such an effective perimeter defender in that sense.
Yeah, that was a huge emphasis for our whole team this last year, and a huge emphasis for me personally. And, again, I give so much credit to Coach Pope and that staff. They were on us every single day. And we would do drills every day from warm-ups all the way through the end of practice that focused on not giving up catch and shoot threes, protecting the middle, and working on different angles. So, I think it's a combination of great coaching and a great work ethic, not just by me, but our entire team.
What advice would you give to Matt Harms or to another player heading into the BYU program next year about playing for Coach Pope?
Trust him. Trust Coach Pope. He talks all the time. When I was coming back, he's like, there are days we're going to be pissed at each other and days you're going to want to punch me in the face. And he's like, but that's part of it. That's how you become great. So no matter what, trust him. Because going into this last season, we went over to Italy and he talked to us about the concept of playing for each other and not worrying about yourself, not worrying about individual stats or accolades, and understanding that if you play the right way, everything else takes care of itself. So I've never been around somebody that's so good at instilling confidence in his guys and teaching guys how to play the right way. So I love that dude and I love that program. And anybody that goes there, I would say trust in that staff, trust in your teammates, because if you do those things, not only will you have a great season, you'll have the most fun playing basketball you've ever had.
What are some of your favorite memories from the BYU basketball team? Obviously, you were a storied career there. I'm curious, some things that you'll look back on and appreciate.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a ton of great memories. There's big ones like beating Gonzaga when they were number one my freshman year. The senior night we were able to have this year, first time being ranked in however many years, playing the number 2 team in the country on senior night, and being able to knock them off and play such a great game. I have great memories like that on the court, but the biggest thing is the brotherhood. The little things in the locker room, in the training room after practice, the inside jokes you get back and forth with the guys. I talk to someone on our team at least every day. So the relationships I was able to build from those small moments and from those moments off the court have been amazing. And, we're a brotherhood and we'll be brothers forever.
Have you had a chance to talk to some of the BYU guys in the NBA? And if so, what advice have they given you?
Yeah, these guys are unreal. The guys that have helped me a ton throughout my whole career are Brandon Davies, played a couple years in the NBA, and now he's in EuroLeague. And then Kyle Collinsworth, who played with the Mavericks a couple years ago, and he's in G League right now. So those two, since my freshman year, they would come play pickup, and afterwards I would just ask them questions, pick their brain, and they would give me advice on, how I could get better and ways to improve my game for like 30 minutes after every time we would play pickup. So those guys have been helping me out for 4 years, and I'll always be grateful for them. And I'm really excited for the opportunity to be that guy for this next generation of BYU basketball players.
I think you'll be a great advocate for sure and a great person to have in their corner. What are some goals that you have for yourself moving forward? What are some things that you'd like to accomplish? Let's start on the court.
Yeah. My biggest goal is to get better every single day. I would love to, go out and have an amazing rookie season and, take the world by storm. That's what everybody wants. But I understand that there's a process bigger than me. I understand that God's in control, and that as long as I try to live right and do everything I can to get better every single day, everything else will take care of itself. So, that's my number one goal. I'm trying to shoot the ball better every day. I'm working on my body every day. I'm working on my handle and my lateral quickness every day. So those are some of the more detailed goals. But I just know that if I get better every single day, everything else will work out.
And what about off the court? What about some of the things that you'd like to accomplish off the court? What are some things that come to mind just about, life in general? I know you've got a family, and I know you've got a lot of things beyond basketball that you're thinking about too, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm married. I've been married for about a year and a half, and I think the most important thing you can do is be an amazing husband. So I try to take care of my wife every day, make sure she feels special. I think it's just important to be a good person, especially to the people closest to you. I love spending time with my family, with my in-laws, and just hanging out with all them. So it's really important to me to treat everybody the right way, be kind to people, and really not think about yourself so much. So I think service is very important to me as well. So I just want to be a good example to, the next generation of people coming out. And I want to do everything I can to make them proud and show them that you can accomplish your dreams and accomplish things and do all that while being a good person and by doing things the right way, building yourself up and building people around you up and doing all that without tearing others down.
Definitely. What about some of the things that you like to do when you're not playing basketball? How do you primarily keep busy?
Yeah, I'm super laid back off the court. I love just spending time with family, either watching a series with my wife or reading a book with her. And it's kind of weird, but I've been getting into baking lately. So I don't know. We'll see if it sticks, but it's been pretty fun during this quarantine. It's relaxing. So that's kind of my weird hobby.
What are some things that you like to make?
All right, the thing I've been making lately are these banana bread chocolate chip cookies. They're a little healthier than a chocolate chip cookie. I'm not going to say they're healthy. I mean, they're a little healthier, but they absolutely slap. They're moist. They're bomb. So that's one of the things I've been making that's really good. And, you try to just eat one of them and give the rest away.
If you ever need to ship any to New York, you've got a fan out there in me that would love to have some banana bread cookies.
Got you, man.
What about some music and TV and film? Like, what are some things that you're watching? Obviously, more time than usual during quarantine. So I'm curious what you've been doing in that sense.
Yeah, the show me and my wife have been watching lately is Persons of Interest. It's kind of like a crime thriller type of show, so that's pretty interesting. And then I like to listen to more chill music. I've always liked rap, hip hop, R&B, that type of stuff. But the guys I've been listening to lately are, Frank Ocean, Sam Smith, Troye Sivan. So some of these more chill artists. So yeah.
What about before the game?
Before a game, same thing. I got to be chill before a game and try to relax as much as I can because I'm super competitive and I get pretty amped up before a game. So it's almost, some people try to get really hyped before a game. For me, I got to calm myself down and try to bring my emotions down because the game means so much to me and I get so competitive and excited.
How would you describe your competitive nature as it compares to other people you've met? Obviously, you're about to become a professional athlete. You've been around so many athletes. How would you describe your competitiveness?
I'm insanely competitive. You can ask any of my teammates, my coaches. I've always been that way. My family makes fun of me because I was the kid that would flip the board game if I lost. So I've always been super competitive. I almost hate to lose more than I love to win. So we have a leaderboard at practice that keeps track of every single win you have in drills and every win your team gets. And I'm always at the top of that list. I love to compete, and every single drill means the world to me, and I treat it like it's the biggest game of my career. So I love to win. I love to compete. And I'm definitely a fighter, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the score is, no matter what the outcome is and what the outlook looks like. I'm always coming to compete and I'm trying to play every game like it's my last.
And then when it comes to just the kind of guy that an NBA team is going to get out of you, when they make that investment in you, either with a draft pick or the first contract, what's the main thing that you want them to know they're getting out of you as a player and as a person?
I think that they're going to get somebody that comes in to compete every single day, someone that's going to fight, someone that's going to treat every single day of practice like it's the biggest practice of their life. So someone that's going to come in, compete, and I'm going to do things the right way. I'm someone that's going to be, honest, someone that has integrity. I'm going to be someone that the coaches don't have to worry about. Coach Pope's talked to me before about, what it takes to succeed in the NBA. And there's so many different personalities and so many different guys to worry about. I'm one of those guys that you don't have to worry about. I'm going to bring it every day. I'm going to get better every day. And I'm going to do what's asked of me and become elite at whatever I need to become elite at.
Given the productivity that you had and the efficiency you did it with, why do you think that you're a little – I feel like people might be sleeping on you a little bit right now. Does that help fuel you at all? Do you think that that kind of gives a little bit of an edge to you where you might be playing with a chip on your shoulder at all? Or is that something that you don't really think about?
I try not to think about it too much because, that's out of my control. I think one of the things was probably just that I posted so much in college. I think that, the NBA, you don't post very much, and I'll hardly post at all other than taking advantage of switches and things like that. So I think that could be something that goes into that. But, I'm not really too worried about what other people think because I can't control that. I'm going to focus on what I can control, and that's working on my game, that's getting better every day, and that's treating people right. So I feel that as long as I do that, everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And I think whoever gets me is going to get a steal because I'm someone that's just going to get better every single day, every single year.
I completely agree. I think that you definitely are an NBA player. But what are your thoughts on the G League and potentially starting off there if that's the kind of route that the team has for you? How do you think you would do in that kind of environment?
I think I would thrive in that environment. Obviously, I want to play in the NBA. That's been my dream my whole life, and that's all these guys' dream. But I just want to get better, and if a team feels that playing in the G League and developing there is what's going to get me better, then that's what I want to do. I try not to get too focused in what's directly in front of me. I look at myself and I want to look at my career for when I'm 27, 28, 29 years old. Where am I going to be then? So I try not to focus too much about right now and what's directly in front of me. And I try to look at the bigger picture. And I think I want to be in whatever situation is going to help me get better.
I think that's the right approach, and I think that it'll pay off in the long run for sure. Anything else that you think would be interesting to add for a story like this one, whether it's about your background or your family or anything that you think people would be interested in hearing about you?
Yeah, we could talk about my family a little bit. I give all the credit of everything that I am. It all goes to my mom. I grew up with a single mother, and she did everything for me and my younger brother. She sacrificed for both of us, and the relationship we have is deep, and I'll always be grateful for her and the things that she's done for me and continues to do for me. When you have someone in your life like that, when you have someone that literally sacrifices everything in their life for you, you get perspective. You understand what it means to be a leader, what it means to sacrifice, what it means to be a part of something bigger than yourself. So my mom's my hero. Everything I am is because of her. And I always say if I could be half the person she is, then I'll be a really successful person. So, my mom's amazing. My family's amazing. And I would just say that I'm blessed to have the amazing people in my life that I have. So for people watching, listening, it's important just to know that regardless of your circumstances, the best life for you is your life. I've thought that now going into these great opportunities, and I've thought that when things weren't so great. So it's important to just love the people around you. And I'm just grateful for all the relationships I've built, starting with my mom all the way to my wife and then the coaches and the friends in between. So I'm a grateful person. I'm a happy person. And I think we just all need to have a little bit more joy and positivity in our lives.
I think that's definitely inspirational stuff. And I know that, realistically, you're somebody who really loves the game. And I think that you could have a long career on the court. After your playing career, could you see yourself being involved with coaching or front office or agent or another kind of like basketball related job?
Oh yeah. I love basketball so much. I can't imagine my life without it. So, I think the most important things to me are basketball and helping people. And the ways I know how to do that are one, through coaching. I would love to coach someday and be able to impact young men in the way that coaches have impacted me. And then another thing that I would love to do is be able to give back and maybe start some kind of foundation for single parents all across the country, because that's a situation that I lived through, and I thought it would be amazing if there were people that could come help in situations like that. So after my career, who knows what's going to happen, but I would love to do those two things, help as many people as I can and coach and be around the game.
Amazing. And definitely have a future donor in me. So I really appreciate your time today. It's definitely an honor to get to speak with you. I think that you have such a bright future in front of you, and I'm excited to see what's next, man. I think that you've got so much to look forward to, and it's been great to catch up and to finally do this.
I appreciate it, Brian. I appreciate your time, and I love the work you do. I love your site. I think you do an unbelievable job. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be on. Thank you.